Welcome to Unbiased and On the Fence. I'm Shane. Thank you so much for joining us for the Power of 8 at 8. I have Eileen with me. How are you doing tonight, Eileen?
Hi, guys. Hi, Shane. I'm doing great.
Wonderful time, and I am running a little bit late. We were just making a joke that it's almost the Power of 8 at 8:08, but
It works for me.
Yeah. And we decided to start doing just topics that you can email us because we did get a few submissions and the audio was echoey. Some had music. And I think it would just work better if we can keep the energy the same and just go off of the topic. But we did pull a topic from what was submitted, and which was, what do we have tonight? It's the 5D Earth, right?
Yep, we got 2 topics submitted for this week. We got 5D Earth, and then somebody else submitted a request via email for our veterans, to heal all veterans from past trauma.
Yeah, that's a good one because I know a lot of them need clearing. Post-traumatic stress disorder, I think they call it. And that can really not only hurt the individuals, but their families.
Yeah.
Suffer. Yeah, I've watched specials about that. Even, I had my cousin passed away over there in Fallujah by a roadside bomb years ago, and he had taken the place of this other guy, and that other guy had survivor's guilt, and I think he ended up killing himself. There was a special on it, and it's just a horrible situation. War is just ugly, and it's not over when the war is over. It still goes on for years and years. So it is.
Yeah, people bring the trauma back with them. I had a friend who had post-traumatic stress disorder because he was standing next to his friend in I think Vietnam by a truck, and a bomb hit, a shell hit very near them, killed his friend, but he survived. So he had a lifetime of, what's that called? When
survivor's guilt.
Yeah. He was like, why my friend and why not me? He couldn't understand.
Yeah. Yeah, I can.
Well, we're going to try to do both. I'm going to try to do both in one meditation because we power up and then we ground ourselves and then we entrain our hearts. And once we're all connected, I think we can start with healing veterans and easily move into 5D Earth from there.
I was listening to Jim Self today. I listened to him a while back, but I guess I hadn't seen much going on in his feed, but he talks a lot about New Earth and stuff. And he was distinguishing the difference between emotions and feelings, and how feelings are more from the heart. That's why when you do selfless acts and you help other people and things like that, it feels emotional to us. Sometimes we even cry and we feel like very emotional at sharing that love with other people. It's like, why am I so emotional? But those feelings are actually more pure and more from the heart. And that's why they sort of bleed over into our emotions, because we're, of course, in these physical vessels or whatever. But it is a very different experience, sharing Christmas with family members and things that emotionally feel good, I guess, opposed to when you really do those acts of kindness and, like spending time with your family during the holidays. It's sort of like an emotional high, but when you actually go and you help and you give to other people and do like a selfless act during the holidays, they both feel good, but they're completely different. And one's really tapping into that sort of that divine feeling, and one's more emotional. It feels good to be with family and things like that. So I had never really made that distinction, but I know it is important with the fact that we have like intuition, and sometimes you get, say, a bad feeling about somebody. Is it like a feeling from fear and from our emotions, or is it really something I just think making that distinction between intuition and just emotions is probably something that I'm going to start looking more into as we move forward, because I'm led by intuition all the time. And I know if it's sort of based in fear, that it's more of a thing or whatever. I don't know why I went off on that tangent. Maybe somebody needs to.
No, that's a good tangent. It's totally related because I've never really looked into the difference between feelings and emotions. I did a little bit. Lynne McTaggart in the Power of Eight book, which we're using as a guide here every Saturday night. We have a lot of new people joining us tonight from the Lynne McTaggart Power of Eight for Healers intensive class. I hooked up with some amazing people in the 3-day class, and they just want to come here and work in this large group on bigger things while they organize smaller groups of 8 in their own community or online. And she talks about igniting the compassion hormones. So having a lovely Christmas with family is not going to ignite that compassion in you, but helping somebody or being empathetic or healing or whatever does ignite the empathy. And the best book I found on that is by Candace Pert, and it's called The Molecules of Emotion. And back in the 80s, she discovered that feelings or emotions, whichever you want to call them now, trigger hormones. Fear triggers a really bad hormone that's bad for your heart, and compassion triggers a really good hormone. I think it's oxytocin, like Lynn talked about in the book, which is really healing for your body. So if you want to delve more into it, it's an incredibly scientific book, though. It's a little on the dry side. But she discovered that emotions trigger hormones, and then the people who sponsored her work got the prize. What prize is it that they give to science? It's not the Nobel Peace Prize. What do they get? Is it a Nobel Prize?
I'm not sure.
For science? Somebody in the chat will know.
Pulitzer, or that might be something.
No, Pulitzer's for writing. So I guess she got a Nobel Prize for science, but she didn't get it. It went to her 2 sponsors.
I think there is different Nobel Prizes. Like, I think there is. I'm not sure though.
For science, for peace. Like, what would Crick and Watson have gotten for discovering DNA, which they actually took the model from another scientist, a woman, and I can't remember her name, and she never got credit for discovering the shape of DNA, which is in that double helix.
That's amazing how so many people that got credit for stuff were just, they came along after the actual person. The more you look into different things, it's like, a lot of times it's their assistant or their underling, and then they got.
Yeah, it's the person who has the money or is in charge of the department gets the prize.
Right.
That's not fair. Oh, and Einstein. Apparently, I've researched Einstein a bit. And yes, he was a genius, but he did all of his work in his head. He called them thought experiments. And his wife was the brilliant mathematician who took all of these crazy thought experiments and put them into formulas. She never got credit. Huh? Yeah, she didn't get any credit.
That's amazing.
So do you want me to share just a little bit more from the book and then share something from the class? Because I can't give away the whole class because it's Lynn's livelihood, but I'm sure she'd be happy for me to share some of the insights tonight. Sure. And I would recommend taking it. You just go to lynnmctaggart.com. It's $250. We were the guinea pigs. We were the first, the Power of 8 for healers. And I'm more of a teacher and a counselor than a healer, but there were other teachers in there. I've owned nursery schools in Cairo and England, and I set up curriculums. So I'm more of a teacher, but I met another teacher in there, and her name was Eileen. How weird was that?
That is wild.
And out of 173 people, someone put us together in the same room. So we're going to stay in touch.
That is awesome. So is this the new thing she was talking about? I know on one of her recent videos, she was starting something new, and this is it that you've joined here?
Yeah, and it's only 3 days, but the 3 days are intensive, and then you get copies of the videos, and then you do exercises in the live chat room. Ask Lynn questions. It's very interactive on Zoom, and then she sends you stuff afterwards and sets up a Facebook group just for your group. So the 173 are allowed into a private place to just kind of exchange information, which is kind of cool.
Oh, that's awesome. So you do it through Zoom?
Yeah, we did it through Zoom. She moved to Zoom. And then I went into the Facebook and group and connected with people. And they said that they'd like to come in, even though they're starting smaller groups in their area. They'd like to come and join this real big 100-person powerhouse of intention that we have here every Saturday night.
That's perfect. We need to try it maybe next week with Zoom, because I just got Zoom today, because I'm going to have Magenta Pixie on next month, and that's what she uses.
I love Magenta Pixie.
I'm so excited about it.
She's from England.
Yeah, so she uses Zoom, and I'm like, I don't want to be using it for the first time with her, so we'll have to practice. And I'm going to have.
Well, you have to pay for it, don't you? And you buy it in lots of 50. So everybody here tonight will just go live through YouTube like we normally do, but you're going to hook up with your guests through Zoom and have much clearer pictures, right? And no dropping out.
Exactly. Just like me and you use Hangouts right now. Yeah. We'll just be using Zoom, and it's free. If I didn't know this when I first looked into it, but because it said it was only free for the first 40 minutes for groups, but it didn't mean groups of 2. It meant groups of 3 or more. So I'll be able to always just have one other person on with me for as long as I want for free. And I didn't know that was the case. So it's free for anybody that's doing one-on-one with another.
And you're kind of a techie guy anyway. You like to experiment with this stuff. Once I figure out how Hangouts work, I will never leave Hangouts.
Well, I think with Zoom, you can like feed the sound back into it. Like when I go to share a video, that was sort of our problem when I was doing the meditation. I had to like put my mic up to my earphone to feed the sound back through, so that the program sound would still work.
Wow.
So it was a big deal. But I think Zoom, you can just share the
You hit play. Yeah, you hit play. She used to just like go on her screen and she goes, okay, don't worry if you can't see me anymore. And boom, she put up PowerPoints and slides and chat over here and raise your hand and talk over there. It's pretty cool.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to using that.
And, good.
I know, like,
maybe I get to go on it. Get to go on it again. You got to tell me how.
Well, we can try it with me and you and see how it works. It should be good.
She just sent me a link via email and said, hi, welcome to your 3rd class today. And I clicked the link and got straight in. So sometimes I kind of rely on people sending me links.
Oh, yeah. I think it should be just like it works here. So I'm excited.
Cool. Well, I have a little section here on page 56 and 57 in the book, The Power of 8 by Lynne McTaggart. We always give her lots. You never know. She could be watching this tonight. We give her lots and lots of plugs because we love her work. And we talk about you, Lynn, every single show. We talk about the intention experiment. We talk about the field, everything that you've done. We're so impressed with it and using it as kind of a guide.
And really no sense in reinventing the wheel, because she's done so much research into this field, and she's looked into so much other people's work. So we appreciate all she's done, and it's an honor, I bet, for so many people to build off of all the hard work she's done. And then
I think she is like the #1 expert in the world on quantum healing. There isn't anything about quantum healing in terms of a study that she hasn't read, participated in, reported on. You know, I've been following Lynn and her work since like the year 2000. So we have an 18-year-long relationship, Lynn. Bet you didn't know it.
Yeah, I sent something to get her on. I can't remember how I contacted her, but
she's in London. But you know what? I've got her personal secretary's email now because I've done this course. I'm just going to send everything to you, and then, or I'll even drop her a little email and tell her how wonderful the course was. Give her like she wants, what's it called when you give good reviews afterwards? Testimonials.
Right.
So I'll do my testimonial on the course. I'm thinking of taking her masterclass. For those interested, I have no idea what it costs, but you do it for a year with Lynn and a group of people that she puts you together with. And you actually do a master course on the power of 8 and healing intention, healing the world, healing others, healing yourself. So I think I might do it.
That'd be cool. And yeah, for those who want to look more into Lynne Taggart, I do have her contact information in the description box below. So please do check her out. Wonderful resource.
Yeah.
Excellent.
It kind of, we just did a show on her and the book, and then people started saying, okay, we've got the book, we're ready now, when are you and Shane going to start doing this? And we're like, okay.
Just we didn't even, and here we are. Right. Yeah. It's amazing.
Okay, so glasses on. I'll do my best at reading this. I know I picked this out for you because, Shane, I know how much you know about the Bible and how much you appreciate the Bible. Pages 56 and 57, Lynne talks about many books of the Bible, such as Acts, Ezra, and Jonah, talk about the power of group prayer to conjure up divine guidance and protection and prevent disaster. She also talks about Saint Teresa de Avila, who I don't know about that saint, allegedly pioneered the use of small prayer groups in the Catholic Church. Muslims do it as well with the Hajj. During their pilgrimage to Mecca, they'll often pray together. And there's also small prayer groups in Judaism. I'm sure, I mean, there is in Buddhism and Hinduism and everything, right?
Yeah,
so
definitely.
She says that the prayer groups have been used extensively in most religions. And she said, if you look at Acts 1:12 to 14, it relates the story of how the 12 apostles of Christ essentially carried out their first prayer meeting. They'd returned from a journey near the Mount of Olives, close to the old city of Jerusalem. They headed up to an upper room. Some religious historians believe the room to be the Cenacle. Is that what it's called? Cenacle, on the Mount of Zion. So it could be Cenacle or Cenacle, where they all engaged in prayer. And Mount of Zion in Jerusalem. That was also the place of the Last Supper. So then she talks a little bit about the New Testament. And then she talks about this, just as the last part of the book I wanted to share with you guys. It's called Homo Thumadin. It would have been smart if I looked it up on how to pronounce it before coming on tonight. It's mentioned in the Bible 12 times, mainly in Acts. And it always describes the nature of how the apostles prayed. So in the King James Version of the Bible, it's a Greek word, isn't it? Homo, which means, well, like Homo sapien.
Or like homo of one. So in one accord, probably.
Ah, you are so smart, Shane. With the phrase, with one accord. And psychic. Talk about intuition, right? Oh, my God. But there's an author, a biblical scholar called Spurgeon, who writes that Homo Thumadin is actually an adverb, and it's a musical term. So instead of meaning praying with one accord, it means striking the same musical notes together with one mind and one passion, is what Spurgeon writes. So basically, the apostles prayed unanimously, harmoniously, continuously, and with passion. So isn't that what we're talking about here, the compassion hormones?
Yeah, and also last week when we were getting into how when we join together, we create this sort of overbrain or overmind, that it's like the collective mind that we're all creating. And I can totally see that as one accord. I remember that because there was a joke, like, did you know the apostles all traveled in a Honda? And they're like, no. Well, the Bible says they were all in one accord.
Oh, my God.
But right, yeah.
I never heard that joke.
But yeah, that sounds like what we were talking about. Remember we were talking about the different parts of the brain that light up and how it was different when it was a group, and it
lights up back here instead of up here where most meditation lights up, because the compassion is going.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the one accord thing that the apostles used. That's amazing.
Yeah, it is. I knew you'd like that story.
Definitely. I did. I loved it.
So that's a little bit because of, copyright and respect for her work. And we've already told everybody, go get the book. And now we're saying, go take the courses. I'm sure she won't mind if we share just a little bit every week, because she's kind of inspired this group of, up to 100 people. We've had 88 people doing the meditation live after training our hearts and powering up, and we've had 96 people do it live.
Yeah.
I think the third time we had 104. So we're quite a little powerful group. But I know that we're a little more general here than her book says, because in smaller groups, you can focus on the individuals in the group. And with 100 people, we're tackling the more general, bigger issues of our shared world. Basically, that's how it's different from the book.
And I think a lot of my viewers are like me. They grew up in the Christian religion, so they'll appreciate knowing that she does consider the Bible and
Oh, a lot.
in her research. So that's awesome.
She does. She does. In fact, in the intention experiment and in the field, she mentions that as well, along with studies of the power of prayer. She'll include those.
That's awesome.
Yep. So that's my little bit today. Is there anything that you had that because it kind of fits with what you just said earlier? It's all like tied together, the compassion hormones, and
Well, that's what I was, it just kind of got to me, because I never could understand why when we come together like this, even when it's not the Power of Eight get together and we're just sort of just hanging out, chatting, why I feel that deeper love, for the group. And it's even more powerful whenever we do meditations and the Power of Eight. It seems really powerful. And I just made that distinction today when I was listening to that. I was like, that's why that feels so powerful. It's not just the emotions we're feeling. We're actually tapping into that divinity that we all share, and we're connecting in a really supernatural way. And so that's why it feels so good. So if you wonder why it feels so good to come together like this, now you know. I mean, I sort of had that epiphany today.
We know the secret to your glow and why you look younger now than you did a year ago. Jose too. She's glowing and she looks younger than she did in her first video. So somebody said me too. I looked in the comments and I was like, yeah, I look younger.
Yeah, we're all glowing, I think. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't have as many lights on tonight, so I might not look as glowy. But.
No, you're still, you got the lights right. They're glowing. I almost forgot. I pulled up Jenny Huang. Am I saying her name right? Huing. Hi, Jenny in New Zealand, if you're listening today. Jenny Huang.
Yeah.
She was our first person who shared a spontaneous healing. So guys out there, if you ever do get a spontaneous healing or an effect, please let me or Shane know. Either in the comments when we repost the videos or in emails. We put down the email links. And then if you want it private, just tell me. If you send an email and you're sharing your experience of this group and you want it private, then I'm not going to read it. But Jenny put this publicly. Jenny.
Or if you can just, we can just not say your name if we can still share it to encourage others, but just leave your name out of it.
Okay, that sounds fair. Okay, so
Jenny actually called in. So for those of you that missed her calling in, I think it was Wednesday night. She was like the last caller from New Zealand.
Yeah, I missed it. I missed that show.
Yeah, so she actually called and reported this live after we had talked about it last week, because she had said something in the chat and then we talked about it last week. But
awesome.
You're gonna share the actual message from her.
If you don't mind, Jenny, because I'm going to go back and re-listen to that show, because I missed quite a few shows last week. I was just working more and trying to catch them later. Okay, so this is posted on the comments on the last Power of Eight at 8. And she just said, I'll put my glasses on. Hi, Eileen and Shane. Sorry I am totally late to the conversation. I couldn't catch the live chat today. Time differences, with a kind of oh no smiley face. I wanted to share the spontaneous healing experience because that was a serious one for me. I did the meditation for healing the children 4 days after the live show. So we're talking retro causality here.
Yeah.
It was still so powerful. I couldn't stop crying for 10 minutes. Do you remember we were all crying after that one?
Yeah, it was powerful.
It was live and later as well, apparently. After the meditation, I was sitting on the bed doing something before her nighttime yoga stretch. I had a sudden dizzy spell. Then I found myself being able to move my neck and shoulder freely. I've always had neck and shoulder problems, but the last 3 to 4 weeks it was killing me. So the result of that healing was more than obvious to me. I did the meditation last Monday night. It's Sunday here today. I haven't felt a twinge or a knot in the muscle for a whole week. Yay. Fingers crossed it stays this way. Just wanted to say I've been a lurker at Shane's show for a while as well, but never felt so motivated to leave a message until that healing experience. Really, thanks to you guys for doing this. Lots of love. Jenny Huang in New Zealand. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you so much for sharing it and for doing this with us and giving us your love and your energy.
And that's amazing how we discussed that whole thing. Like she joined in, here it was a couple of days later, and it didn't make a difference with the power. And it's like time really is an illusion for us in this linear system that we're in. And she was just right there with us, combining her intentions at that moment to send out to others, and that selfless act turned around and gave her a spontaneous healing. I mean, that's wonderful.
Yeah,
You know?
it is. And it's just the way Lynn describes in the book. She describes all these people telling her these things. Like, that wasn't Lynn's intention. Her intention was to get a group of people together to make a change, a positive, healing, loving change somewhere. And then suddenly they were contacting her going, oh, my arthritis is gone. Oh, my digestion has healed. I no longer have irritable bowel syndrome. Or, oh, I can move my neck freely now, like Jenny experienced. And she was going, you know, why? What is this? And she calls it a kickback. Some people would call it a side effect. A side effect of healing others is being healed yourself. Yeah. And then she did 10 years of research to find out, why does the healer get healed in the process of healing others? That was her big mystery. And remember, we talked about the oxytocin, the vagus nerve, the brain lighting up differently. Yeah. And you brought it up tonight. It's that triggering the compassion. If you get to the point of feeling compassion, that's when the real healing begins.
It's almost like becoming a vessel for that healing divine energy. You, like, there's some spillage or something in your own body. You know what I'm saying? Like you became this vessel.
Oh my God. You could have been like listening to her class. She calls it a leaky bucket. You're freaking me out, Shane.
I just get visuals of stuff, like little downloads. Yeah. That, you know, it seems like my imagination, but yeah, when you become that vessel for the divine healing energy, of course it's like it went through you. So of course you're gonna
you're the leaky bucket.
Right.
So she flips that on the other side and says it works that way, right? But it works the other way too. When you're with people, a student, a patient, you know, a neighbor, a family member, and you start to feel, oh, they're so negative. Oh, they're so messy. Oh, they're so mean, whatever. As soon as they start thinking negative thoughts, they're a leaky bucket again. And that person standing there picks up on all that. And then quite often, subconsciously, they go and act out whatever you're programming them with. You know, yes. So the leaky bucket works for your good. When you're healing somebody, you get healed, and it works in the negative way equally, that when you're thinking negative thoughts about people, those people pick up on it and act them out because they feel it. They feel that's what they are.
I experienced that one day. Like I've mentioned it before at a quick trip, and I could see people like judging people, not ever really saying anything, just sitting in their car, watching someone going in and making judgments about them in their mind. And I could see like the negative energy going and weighing that person down, you know, a person that they never spoke to. They just saw them, made some judgment calls about their appearance.
Yeah.
Just it's like they threw a bucket of stuff.
Yeah. So she had us do an exercise today that was not fun. I'm telling you, we had to get into little groups, and then on Zoom, you'll see all their little faces pop up on your screen, and you unmute yourself and you allow yourself to be seen. And then everybody in the group is in a side room. And we were supposed to pick one and send negative thoughts about them and to them. And then they were supposed to use this powering up tool to kind of shield it. Because, you know, people have all different ways of grounding themselves and shielding themselves. And she said, instead of like most psychics, and this is true, use the traditional putting yourself in a bubble of light. And then on the outside of that light, you put a mirror so that your bubble has a complete mirror around it. And anything positive you say you allow in, and anything negative will go back out, not to the sender to hurt the sender, but just kind of disappear and be dissipated, right, by the love of God. Yeah. And she's saying that's cutting you off from your client. It's putting a wall up between you and the person you're teaching or the person that you're healing. Now, I've been in this area since 1977, and I've never heard that before. I've never heard somebody say that putting up that psychic bubble of protection puts a wall up, which makes it harder to heal or communicate, teach, counsel the person that you're working with. So she has a beautiful one, and I hope she doesn't mind me sharing it. I'm not sharing the whole class because the class is phenomenal. And if you can do it, I highly recommend that you do it. The short class, and then I'm going to go do the year-long one and report back to this group after I do that. But it's going to take a year. The way she does it is she has the teacher or the healer imagine their life's passion, what they came here to do. It could be a teacher, you're a communicator, you're a teacher, you're a communicator, a healer, a singer, a writer, a poet, a doctor, a nurse. It could be a bartender, cab driver, or beautician who just makes people feel better by talking to them and letting them talk about their issues. You know, that's a form of free counseling that we get, and we don't even realize it. So you just imagine your passion, and that passion changes your energy and protects you. Now you can hear the person's negative comments and focus on their negative health issues without judging them and making them worse, and without taking it on into your own energy, because you don't want to take it on.
Without putting the wall up and blocking it as well.
Without blocking it.
Wow.
So I did it with a couple of really powerful healers. One of them was named Eileen, and she was a teacher in Chicago, where I was born and raised. So we're definitely keeping in touch. I don't even know if she might be watching right now. And it was really hard to send her negative energy because I felt like I was hitting somebody with a bat. I'm not used to doing that. But I tried. I did my best, and so did the other lady. And she said that she felt it, and then she immediately dispelled it by thinking of her life's purpose. Now, when it was my turn, they were equally struggling to send negative things to me. But as they did, I felt this heaviness on my heart. It just felt heavy. And then I thought of my life's purpose. I consider myself a teacher and a counselor because quite often with one-on-ones, I really do go into personal things with people and just try to lift them up. And just by lifting them up, they find their way out of it on their own, basically. Right. So my heart got a little bit heavy, and I wasn't clearing it by putting myself down as a teacher and a counselor, my life's purpose. And as soon as I touched back to divinity through here, and I said, okay, I'm doing this for God. I am working here on earth for God, and I have direct connection to the divine. Boom, it all lifted. It all disappeared. I felt it go up to my head, where I felt like a headache in my third eye and my top, and then boom, it was gone. So by doing my life purpose, it didn't clear me entirely. And as soon as I brought divinity into my life purpose, nothing could touch me. Beelzebub himself could not touch me at that moment. I was like, brr. I probably floated.
I love that. So it's almost like it just transmuted the darkness or negative into positive or something, just by making that connection, like a circuit on a circuit board or something.
Yeah, like instead of putting up a wall, I mean, we can still do our bubbles because we do awesome bubbles of love. We fill them with love. Then we put our bodies in them, and then we send them out to our community. We send them out to the world. That's a different kind of bubble. That's called a healing bubble of light. And Jose does wonderful little bubbles of love and sends them to people. So that's okay. But instead of blocking another person's energy by putting yourself in a protective bubble, you're protecting your energy through your heart going out. You're radiating it out. Instead of putting a wall up, you're saying, I'm here. This is my life's purpose. I love doing this, and I'm going to help somebody now. And it just protects you. It does the same thing in a much more beautiful way.
It's like flashing your divinity card. You're like, I'm here to do some real business.
I'm here for God.
But I love that. It's like our badge.
Light workers unite. We all have one of those cards, don't we? Light worker.
Right. I've even been thinking of a love light worker after talking with spirit walker, you know, because it's not just the light, the illumination, the knowledge, it's the love with it. So I've been thinking of it more as love light worker.
Yes,
it is the
love light worker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really good show. And Spirit Walker's got another angle that most people don't even think about, right? The difference between illumination and love light. Yeah. You know, they're two different things.
Yeah, because it's like knowledge without the love it's not always a
Dangerous.
good thing. Yeah.
In fact, we have too much of that right now in our ruling elite. We have too much knowledge.
They're using the
without
illumination
love.
and not the love part of it, or the love for self. It's like they still use the love, but it's not the love of others or the service to others. It's just the service to self, self-serving.
Oh, Lynn's class. See, you could teach this class, Shane. I'm sorry. She spent a whole lot of time on perhaps some of the self-help industry is hurting people because it's making them only focus on me, my pains, my money, my feelings. Nobody else's matters, instead of focusing that love outwards on family, community, world. And as soon as you like take that internal view and you send your love out to other people, you suddenly heal. Your relationships improve, your finances improve, your body heals, because you're no longer so focused on your own problems. Because when most people think of me, they usually tag that to a problem, right? They don't naturally run around going, oh, I'm so great, I'm so healthy, I'm so lovely, I love me. They usually think about their problems instead. So they're feeding that energy to it instead of focusing on healing others, which then sends a healing energy, which heals them as the leaky bucket in the process of healing others.
I love that.
It kind of makes sense. I'm getting this. I know you guys are. Everybody's getting this. It's clicking. It's clicking.
Yeah, it for sure is for me.
Yeah. I feel like we did all that prior work on your videos getting to this point, because this is a really different point we're at than a year ago when we were looking at the Mandela effect.
Yeah, definitely. It's amazing how everything's been working to bring us to this point we're at right now. And I have people say, your channel's so much different. I'm like, but it's all connected. It's been evolving into what it is. For me,
it's so different.
It is different, but it's like connected, and you can see the natural progression of how it's not like I just said, hey, let's just be different. It's like switched over one day. It's been this gradual evolution into what we are today. For me, it's like the Mandela effect led me to more spiritual things, and it's like, for me, it's all been connected. But I understand, like, looking back, it is completely different than a year ago.
It is, but it's completely connected. That spiritual awakening that you say, the Mandela effect gave you a quantum awakening.
Yeah.
And it triggered all kinds of questions about the quantum world and reality and existence and relationships to people. So it's not unusual that we're where we are today. And we have a really powerful group here of love light workers tuning into this. There are not a lot of newbies here. Most of the people here have been doing this a long time.
Yeah, I've noticed that. It's like I'll have an epiphany, and then all these people chime in. It's like, oh, it's kind of like I'm the new person to the party here, But it's like we're all on this journey together, and it's so awesome. You know what I mean?
It is. And I'm not being a braggart or an egoist. I'm just saying that out of all the groups I've ever come into, this one has the most experience in what we're doing. And it's awesome. How many do we have on now that are going to do the meditation live?
69.
Okay. So we've got 69 people. And Lynn said, don't worry about the number 8. She wears an infinity symbol, which is the 8 turned this way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she said it's just a nice number for her. But, any number of people can do this. It doesn't have to be 8.
Yeah, that's what Michelle says. She says the power of infinity. And I like that. It's sort of like we're tapping into intelligent infinity, as the Law of One calls it, divinity or whatever. So infinity is perfect. It's the 8 sideways. So it still works. I think it's great.
Yeah, definitely. And somebody emailed me and commented, because I upload these to my channel. My channel's smaller. Shane will put a link in the description if you want to come over to my channel and check out my videos. I don't do a lot of live stuff. This is it. Shane does live stuff and all kinds of stuff every day. I'll post something once a week or once every 2 weeks. But somebody said, could you please name the re-uploads? Power of 8 at 8 on abundance. Power of 8 at 8 for the children. Power of 8 at 8, healing earth. And then today's would be the power of 8 at 8 for veterans. I don't know how you want to name veterans and 5D earth together. It's kind of unusual, isn't it? But they said they like to go back and repeat them, but they're not sure which one. They don't remember which day. So now that we have a catalog of them, they just want to know what each Power of 8 is on, what the topic was.
Right. I need to cut it down because the first week I did cut it down and then named it that way so they could just do the meditation portion of it, you know, and it's named for the children for the short one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can add that to the titles too, just so if they want to watch the whole thing or they want
I had to take off. My title was a mile long, Shane. It said The Power of 8 at 8, on Abundance, live Saturday on Unbiased and On the Fence, June 23rd, 2018. I'm like, oh my God, my title is so long.
Yeah, mine just Power of 8 at 8, and then our today's date 6:30. But I can add Abundance or 5D veterans behind it or something. Or at least
I just did.
The first line of the description, have it in there so they can look.
I think it's really cool that people are saying that they're going back and re-listening to the whole shows. It's like they're doing it as a coursework now, which is, you know, kind of cool that they're being used as kind of a reference.
Yeah, definitely. And it's like it's got information in it. It's got some of Lynne McTaggart's work and a little excerpt of that, and then we discuss things. So, and it's deep stuff that you can listen to several times and still have more epiphanies. I mean, even I'm in the discussion and I do. So, yeah.
I have to go back and re-listen to it, and then I get to read all the comments live so I don't miss anybody, you know, and then go back and read the comments posted afterwards because we're still taking topics, always taking topics.
Yeah, thanks, Dad GPK, for posting Eileen's.
Oh, thanks, Dad. I really appreciate it. You always have my back. You always put my link down. You're amazing.
Yeah, he's awesome, man. And there's also a link in the description below as well. It's always there.
Thanks, GPK. I love you. Also, I don't know how you do what you do because you're like on shows 24 hours a day. Everywhere I go and it's live and it's spiritual, Dad's in the chat room. He's there.
That's what I say. Like, I mean, there's so many people. I mean, I might be the person like the talking head sometimes, but there's so many amazing people that make all this work. Like, you know, Willie that we were doing a prayer for yesterday. He runs my Discord channel, but he also does other people's, you know, moderating on my channel as well as other people's. And then Dead GPK, just like you said, you see him all over the place. And it's like, we're this team, you know, and it's like, it's awesome. You know,
Dad GPK, I have seen you here. I've seen you on UniRock. I've seen you on Jose's and Michelle's. And
another one that you
Biker Babe. Yep. And Alone Eagle. I've even seen him all the way over in England on Scott Harrison's show with Jen Gems. Jen Gems is over there too. So, and Casey Cat 5. I don't know. I'm probably messing up some of the names here. Yep. Yeah, and whenever I'm on like somebody's show far, far away, and I see my family from Unbiased and On the Fence, we're like, hi.
Yeah, a lot of my viewers I got when I was on UniRock. That's sort of how.
That's where I met you. I met you on UniRock. That is just so weird. I met Dead GPK on UniRock. I met KC Cat 5 there, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met a load, and that's like a political channel, but he's doing some really cool mystery videos on mysterious things. So nobody tackles a mystery like the old UniRock does.
Yeah, I love he's completely unbiased about stuff. I love that about him. He's a good researcher. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, if that's it, we're probably
we can get started. You want
ready for our 10-minute meditation?
Definitely.
So I'm gonna put my video off.
Okay, I'm gonna do the same. And I'm going to mute so I can get comfortable.
And I will not mute mine. How's that? Okay, so what we're going to do, which if you've been here before, we're just going to do what we've done before. We're going to power up together, and we're going to entrain our hearts through some heart math, exercises of breathing, and we're going to ground ourselves. Now, the grounding that I use is, you'll see the cable that goes down from your root chakra into the ground. That is literally grounding you here on earth so that you can let your spirit fly free and come right back with no grogginess or dizziness or issues. The other kind of protection that Lynne McTaggart was talking about in her 3-day The Power of 8 for Healers online class or course or seminar, you can do yourself. And you can do that. That's more of a protection thing than a grounding thing. And you can, because you are in training hearts with a lot of other light workers by doing this together and amping up our love and our effect, our ability to heal something in the world or someone or many ones, many people. So we're going to just start out by taking a nice, slow, deep breath in. We're going to hold it for a few moments. And when you're comfortable, exhale it out all the way. And do it again. And as you exhale, imagine any negativity leaving your body as you exhale. And then you're going to breathe in again, very deeply, allowing your tummy to expand, your diaphragm to fill with that air. Hold it and exhale out any negativity in and around your body. Now we're going to switch our breathing in a comfortable pace in and out. But we're going to breathe in through our hearts and we're going to exhale out through our hearts. We're going to breathe in through our hearts and exhale out through our hearts. And we're going to keep doing that in a pace that is comfortable for you. And as you're breathing in through your heart, imagine a light coming in with it. It can be any color that you like in this moment. Breathe the light in through your heart. Let it mix with your heart chakra. And exhale it back out to the world, out through your heart. And as you're doing that, imagine being in a beautiful, safe place. This is a place where you can relax and visualize and meditate and pray. And the place that you visualize can be a place in nature, or it can be a favorite room of your house or somewhere you've been before that meant something to you. And now that you're in this safe, beautiful place and you're breathing this beautiful healing light in through your heart and exhaling it back out of your heart, we're going to fill a bubble of light around you. You're going to allow that light coming in through your heart and going out through your heart to surround you in the color of your choice, be it green or pink, purple or blue, yellow, orange, red, rainbow colors. Breathing in through the heart and exhaling out through your heart. And when you're comfortable, let that bubble of light grow and fill the entire room. Breathing in and exhaling out. And when you're ready, let that love light fill your entire home or apartment or building. And when you're comfortable, let that love light from your heart cover your entire community. Breathing in and exhaling out. And if you'd like, let that love light cover your entire state or county or province. Breathing in and breathing out. And when it feels right, let that love light cover your entire country. Breathing in through your heart, exhaling out through your heart. And finally, when it feels comfortable, if it feels comfortable, let that love light cover the entire earth. Breathing in, exhaling out. And ground yourself now. Send a silver or a gold cord down from your root chakra, which is at the base of your spine. Send it all the way down into the middle of the earth, and then let it kind of splay out like the roots of a tree, grounding you to earth as you continue to breathe in through your heart and out through your heart. And if you like, now would be a good time to imagine either a really happy event, a time in your life that made you so happy that you could have cried tears of joy just out of sheer happiness. Breathing in through your heart and out through your heart. And maybe you're with somebody that you love who's here on this earth now, or who has moved on and was here on this earth with you. Breathing in and exhale out. It could even be a pet, a beloved pet. Something or someone that makes you feel so happy that you know why you came here. Breathing in through your heart and exhaling out through your heart. And now we're going to shift our focus together as a group to veterans. Breathing in and breathing out the love. And we're going to think about veterans in America. We're also going to think about veterans all over the world, whether they're from Europe or Asia, from Africa, from South America, from Canada, Australia, New Zealand. Breathing in through the heart and exhaling out through the heart. And we're going to send them powerful healing love. Powerful healing love light. Breathing in through the heart and exhaling out through your heart. And that love light is going to surround all veterans on planet Earth. And it's going to heal them, and it's going to comfort them. It's going to hold them in beautiful love light so that they can feel at peace and they can feel at ease. Breathing in and exhaling out. And so that they know that they did what they were told to do. And many times they did what they had to do. They also did what they thought was best for their country. They were serving everybody. Breathing in and breathing out. But maybe in the process of serving their country and their families and their loved ones and all of us, maybe they saw things that hurt them and continues to hurt them today. And maybe they experienced things that they find incredibly painful, whether it was being hurt or hurting others through the process of war. But we want to surround them with a beautiful, calming, comforting love light right now to let all veterans in the world know that we forgive them and we love them. Breathing in through your heart, exhaling out through the heart. And we are asking them to let go of any negative feelings, any pain, and any frustration, and any fear that perhaps they're being judged by God or judging themselves harshly. Breathing in and breathing out. And we would like them to know that we love them and we forgive them, and we know that they did what they did because they were told and they were doing what they felt at the time was the right thing or the only thing that they could do. Breathing in, breathing out, and helping the world's veterans to release any post-traumatic stress disorder so that they too can heal and feel at peace. And I'm going to leave that with us for a few minutes, just loving the veterans all over the world so that they can heal. And I'm going to say, let's push that light, that love light, right now to the entire world's hierarchy of leaders, military leaders and political leaders, banking leaders and industry leaders. And we're going to let that love light that we have for our veterans all over the world Surround the world's leaders to change their hearts and soften their hearts so that they too feel the love and the forgiveness that we all have for each other, breathing in through the heart and out through the heart, so that they make decisions that truly do not harm others and truly bring us into communication, cooperation, compassion with each other all over the earth, so that we settle our disputes with words and we don't harm young men and women in the process of our leaders trying to establish their power or their control. Breathing in through the heart and out through the heart. And right now, let's just send that love energy to Iran and Syria and blanket the entire Middle East, to Israel, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Iraq. Breathing in and breathing out. And let's send our love light there so that the leaders of the world feel it and realize that there are other ways, more compassionate ways, to settle any issue and any dispute. Breathing in through the heart and out through the heart. And now we're just going to leave these feelings. We're just going to sit with them for a few seconds, a few moments. And we're just going to thank God that we're here now to do the work that we're doing. And be very, very grateful. Breathing in and breathing out. And when you're ready, because this was quite an intense one tonight, just start to move your fingers, move your toes, kind of stretch your neck, move your neck a bit, move your arms, move your legs, your ankles, and start to come back. Come back into your body and release your grounding cord. Just release it into the earth and it's gone. And when you're ready, open your eyes, maybe stand up, get a nice glass of water. I couldn't do 5D Earth. I was so emotionally, compassionately in with the veterans. I couldn't find a transition.
No, that's fine. I think following your intuition with that, it was very powerful, and that really, that was an important one, I think.
It was. I'm feeling it still. And I'm
Oh,
feeling
yeah.
complete compassion for any person who's ever served in a war, past, present.
Yeah, it's very powerful. I felt some very powerful waves. Like for a few moments here and there, I could feel these connections that did transcend all time and space. That I could feel it really going into this timeless zone. I don't really know how to explain it, but I could even feel us changing our, like, the past. You know what I mean? Like it being so strong that we literally come out in things that have happened in the past. You know, like a Mandela effect, like that war never even happened because, you know, it's so strong. And it's really, for a moment, I was like, wow, this is so powerful. This could be like we open our eyes and we're already in 5D because this was so strong, you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's very
I actually
powerful.
felt the pain of our veterans, past and present, like going way back and even to today. And
Yeah,
I
even
felt the
Asians
pain and
from
suffering that they feel when they go
when you were naming
and
all the places. Yeah.
they either kill or be killed, and they don't want to do either. But they have to because it's the right thing to do. They're being told you need to protect your country. And then they come back from war devastated because of their own actions, and we need to love them and heal them and forgive them. We need to help them to let it go.
Oh yeah.
You know.
And that movie Rambo really opened up my eyes to what veterans go through. It's like they already deal with all of that, and then they come home and, you know, people treat them like they're criminals, and, you know, they just had to deal with so much, and it's awful. You know what I mean? It's just like they get it from both sides, and yeah, and I felt that from, you know, just all of the different places, all of the wars. Everyone's has their veterans that are dealing with this, and it's tough.
And then I'm just gonna look something up real quick while we finish up, because we're wrapping up now.
Mm-hmm.
And that automatically went into no more war, healing the hearts of our leaders throughout the world who actually have the power to declare war. Mm-hmm. And healing them, it kind of led that direction instead of leading into 5D Earth. I couldn't connect them. I just physically, emotionally, mentally couldn't get them to come together. I think 5D Earth is a different meditation that we'll do, but it automatically led into, you mentioned healing. I remember in the abundance meditation, you went into healing the hearts of those who set up systems that really harm people financially, and healing their hearts so that they're more compassionate. Healing the hearts of our leaders.
Abundance for the overall instead of just for the select few, because things are so abundant that it's like things could still be abundant for them. You know what I mean? It's not like they're losing anything. You know, and even the Bible goes into storing up your treasures in storehouses and stuff, and it's instead of storing them up in heaven. And that's sort of that mentality of, are you storing them up spiritually? Because if you're hoarding everything on earth, you really are, you know, I don't know, harming your spiritual man, so to speak, if you're letting other people suffer. You know?
If you turn away from it and say, in order not to feel bad, I'm not going to look that direction because I want to ascend to 5D Earth, but I'll allow others to starve while I ascend, I think that stops ascension. I don't think that necessarily is going to get you to 5D Earth quicker, right?
Right. Yeah, definitely.
I'm just looking here, just so you know what I'm doing. I wanted to get the name of the person who gave me that suggestion this week. And I'm looking in my folders because I got so many emails this week, especially doing this group now, that I don't really, you know, I'm 57. I can't remember exactly who said what because I'm answering a lot more emails than I was before since we started this show. And if I don't find you today, I will find you for next week so that I can thank you on the channel for sending us that suggestion.
Yeah, and I remember it was Melissa for the 5D, the one we did.
Yeah, and God, I better be able
but we'll get to it next week on that one, on the 5D.
Yeah, and I'm very sorry, I will look for your name and I will give you a big thank you next week for contacting me and suggesting that we do something for the veterans, because that wasn't something I'd even thought of, you know,
but it is
and I should have.
Problem, yeah. And Scott Light Warrior Craig, he says, I love you guys so much. I could tell he felt it too. It's like I felt this love and this compassion and this connectedness. And man, you can really tell we're connecting into the divine source when we do these sorts of things. It's wonderful, you know. I can really feel the change happening.
Thanks, Scott. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for being willing to come here when you can, or every Saturday night, or the occasional Saturday night, and giving your compassion, your love, your light, your energy to this group healing. That really is amazing. And thank you to the people
later, you know?
who see it later. Those who come back and see it later.
77 people watching. Double sevens.
That's a nice number.
Yeah, it is.
I really appreciate it. So that's it from me. I'm just going to go and kind of shake it off because I still feel compassionate. I still feel a great deal of compassion right now.
Yeah, I do.
For
feel
other people.
It's heavy. Yeah, it is. Well, I appreciate you coming on, and we'll do it again next week. You guys, if you're watching during the week, just join in. Leave your comments below if you have suggestions, and we will see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Lots of love.
Awesome. Love you all. Bye.
Bye, Eileen. Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
Peace.
Peace.
Mm-hmm.